All right, let's wrap up the college football semifinals and head to the Superdome. There's Farhan Lalji. We're on the field. This was super tense. Washington unbelievably pulls this off, and it was really tense at the end. But Michael Penix Jr., Farhan, what can you say about his performance in this one? He was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, and with everybody watching on the biggest stage here, he delivered absolutely, especially through the first three quarters of this game, almost 400 yards at that point. And, you know, one of the things with Michael Penix coming into the season, the knock the scouts have on him is, can he play the game off platform? They do such a good job of protecting him. They did again tonight. But if he's got to move around and do some things, can he do it? And I think he absolutely showed that today. He was a dual-threat quarterback coming out of high school, but he had all those injuries when he was at Indiana, including a pair of ACL injuries. So here at Washington, he's been much more tentative in that part of the game. But in this game, when he needed to take off and scramble and keep plays alive in the pocket, avoid the rush, then get it downfield, he was able to do that. They even ran a couple of designed runs to him, one in the second quarter, one in the third quarter. So I think he answered a lot of questions because this guy can put the ball in any spot on the field. The velocity he throws with, there might be 10 quarterbacks in the world at the NFL level that can throw it as hard as he can, but that other part of the game that NFL scouts wanted to see, I think he showed that tonight and put himself in the first round of the draft.
Let's talk about that other semifinal. Unbelievable as well. Yeah. Michigan holds off Alabama in overtime, and Michigan quarterback Jay McCarthy, 221 yards, 3 touchdowns, and his head coach Jim Harbaugh calls him the greatest quarterback in University of Michigan history. This is unbelievable. Was this his coming-of-age moment?
Yeah, I think it was. Look, and Harbaugh is right for how he feels about McCarthy. He was a highly decorated quarterback coming out of high school. He's delivered. He's lived up to the praise. And last year, I know, was very difficult on him. He threw 2 pick sixes and made some mistakes in that Fiesta Bowl loss to TCU. But here, when his team needed him most, he had a defining moment. And that was on that final drive in regulation. The defense holds Alabama to a field goal, and he comes in, and there was a 3-play sequence where he gets the ball to Blake Corum, puts it in the perfect spot so he could catch and run in stride, get some additional yardage. Then on the next play, he took off for a solid gain to get them into the red zone. And then after that as well, he gets the ball to Wilson, again, in stride. Wasn't necessarily a big downfield throw, but in stride so he could catch it and run it and make a play. And those are the types of plays that he needs to do, because in the last month of the season, they didn't really need J.J. McCarthy to do a lot. He was dealing with a bit of an ankle injury, and they leaned on the run game a little bit more. But when they needed him in this game, he absolutely stepped up and delivered. And I think Harbaugh's right. When it comes to what quarterbacks have done at the University of Michigan, J.J. McCarthy tops the list.
So Michigan, Washington, national championship. We know Michigan has this incredible defense, Farhan, but as we saw in the Sugar Bowl, man, Michigan's going to have their hands full with this talented Washington receiving corps.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell you this, they have not faced a receiving corps even close to this season that also can boast a quarterback that can get him the ball. Ohio State's receivers were good, but, you know, when you look at Alabama, who they played today, this is not the Alabama of Jalen Waddle, Calvin Ridley, guys like John Mechie and Jamison Williams and Devontae Smith. This was a pedestrian receiving corps with a quarterback that wasn't going to sit back and make reads and throw the football. He was going to beat you with his legs at this stage of Jalen Milroe's career. This Washington receiving corps is as good as any of those great Alabama receiving corps. I talked to Greg McElroy, the former Alabama quarterback. He compared them to the 2019 LSU receiving corps, which had Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. So Washington can score on anybody. And I think they'll be able to move the ball against Michigan, even though their secondary is much better than what we saw here against Texas. But the one thing they were able to do today, they got a lot of pressure, and they got that pressure with 4 and 5. They didn't have to bring a heavy diet of 6- and 7-man pressure. So if Washington can continue to protect Michael Penix like they've done all season, I think they're going to be able to move the ball. But Michigan, the way they run the ball, I think they're going to score a lot of points in this game. Washington's going to be really hard-pressed to handle them in that side of the game.
It's going to be amazing. National championship next Monday, TSN. Farhan's going to be there. Thanks for this, buddy.